Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Car.Ross Sr., and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I want to make sure I give a shout out to everybody listening all over the world, especially those that are listening abroad. Thank you to Brussels, Belgium, and surrounding areas over there. Thank you to North Carolina, right here in our own backyard. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the Ross Cloud Podcast. And we are here now today, and we have our hostess with the mostest, Miss Candi T. Jeter. Candi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I'm wonderful, man.
Awesome. I hope everybody out there is doing well. We have some interesting things to talk about today, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do. I'm looking forward to this conversation. We all have dealt with pain at some point in our life, emotional pain, some type of trauma. And so we're just going to talk about how you can, different types of emotional pain, how you can deal with that emotional pain, some of the effects of emotional pain, and types of emotional pain. We're going to try to cover all of that. If we miss something, y'all, just don't hold it against us. So we're going to go ahead and get on started. Go ahead and get ready to get started. So emotional pain. And I guess that encompasses everything. That can be a death of a parent, a loved one, death of, maybe you have a dog or a cat or, it can be a lot of things that can cause some emotional pain. Maybe you have that classic 1967, 69 Camaro.
Yeah.
Which probably can cause some emotional pain. For
if
some
something
guy.
happens to it.
Yeah. Maybe it's that 65 or 67 Mercedes-Benz that's a classic, or that.
Or maybe it's the death of an idea.
Or maybe it's the death of an idea.
Yeah.
A business failing that could cause some emotional pain.
Yeah.
But, as we were talking earlier, you have a great story that you want to kind of talk about a little bit from your perspective, and something you experienced here recently with a family member and your cat.
Yeah.
If we can kind of talk about it, I guess, a little bit. We'll talk about it a little bit.
So, I've grown up with animals all my life, but, a part of having animals is they die. They come here, they have a short lifespan, and they show you the cycles of life in a short period, And so I'm used to putting dogs down and animals down or what have you. But with my kids, we had just started getting cats instead of dogs when I went through my divorce, because we had moved out of a house into an apartment. And so they got their first cat. Well, my daughter, she got unexpectedly attached to the cat, which was Chloe.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe lived for a long time, but, maybe about 10 or 11 years. And then she died of a respiratory illness.
Yeah.
And we put her down, which was sad. Well, Taylor wanted to hurry up and get another cat because she wanted to fill the hole that Chloe left.
Right.
So I told her she should wait, but she went and got another cat, and his name was Butter. Another orange tabby that looked like the other cat.
Okay.
Well, Butter got in an accident in the house, and people out there may laugh because every time I tell this story, at least 2 out of 3 people laugh, but it was very tragic.
Sure.
So he got hung in. Chris,
I'm holding it in, okay? I'm sorry.
I'm laughing at you.
I'm so sorry. Listen, no disrespect to the canine and feline community. Listen, I get it. I totally understand, but I must admit, I guess when you're thinking about it, but go right ahead.
Yeah. So we had a wonderful pre-Thanksgiving night. Yeah. I had put the Christmas tree up, and Butter was on the couch with us, and we were watching Netflix. And then my daughter went to bed, I went to bed, and that morning came and he didn't come around like he normally does. So my daughter was looking for him. She went in the den area.
Yeah.
And he actually got hung in the blinds and was hanging there. Right. So we had to cut him down, and we had to, he was dead. We had to get paw prints and everything.
Okay.
So she was devastated because she felt like she had failed him. Sure. And I should have checked on you. And, we never leave him at night. He always slept with her.
Okay.
So she went through this whole thing. And,
understood.
Shortly after that, she rushes out and gets another orange tabby, trying to fill the hole for that. Oh. This is never ending, right?
Yeah.
But I tried to tell her, don't get another cat. She got it anyway.
Yeah.
And she began to just put all of herself into this cat. But the difference between this cat and the other cats is this cat liked to be outside.
Okay.
The other cats were house cats.
Okay.
So I had to tell her, hey, this cat likes to be outside. Weird things can happen outside.
True.
True. People don't like cats. Your cat might be on somebody's property. Yeah. Cat may get hit by a car. Anything can happen. Yeah. Not being negative, but I just wanted her to know,
Sure.
So a couple of days ago, my mom said, well, wow, we haven't seen Peach. Where's Peach? Yeah. And so my daughter got concerned. We went, and she was dead behind the neighbor's house. And my daughter goes through this whole thing all over again, hurt all over again.
Yeah.
I'm at a point now where I'm like, okay, I'm upset that she's upset.
Sure.
But I'm like, I already told you not to continue to do this. There is a energetic force that needs to be broken. It's a chain that you're creating out of grief. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And you're projecting that into these cats. Yeah. And you're creating this panic around them. You're overprotective.
Yes.
You're sad when you can't find her, and then when she shows up, you're happy. You're just an emotional roller coaster, right?
Correct.
It's bothering me, getting on my damn nerves, to be honest with you. It's irritating a little bit, because I'm like, I need you to, you're at a point, she's like 23 years old. Yeah. I need you to get to a point where she's 24, where you are more emotionally solid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's time for you to learn these lessons. So we go through the whole thing again, take the cat to the vet, get the paw prints and everything. And I happen to think about the difference between attachment and connection. Ooh. We can connect with each other, but it's that attachment that causes us the emotional pain to that degree. Yeah. Sad is one thing, right? Yeah. But not being able to process that and heal that, and move forward kind of separately from that, rather than taking all that sadness and dumping it on another person, place, or thing, and expecting them or that to fulfill this hole that you have inside of you. That's an attachment, and an attachment is just an addiction. And so we become addicted to these emotions that we have poured into something outside of ourselves, and there's no way to regulate anything outside of you. So once you take that outside of yourself, you have completely lost control. And she took her emotions, put them on the cats. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like we take our emotions and put them on people.
That's right.
Parents take their emotions and put them on their children. If the child acts right, the parent's happy. If the child don't act right, the parent's miserable. Right?
Yes.
So we have to figure out, how are we going to take these feelings, these emotions, these thoughts, and put them back in ourselves and master all of that within ourselves, rather than going on these emotional roller coasters. And that is how this topic came to my mind, to share with other people. What can you do to minimize emotional pain? Because pain is like like I have a pain in my neck, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pain is a warning to keep you from further injuring yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if you continue to have pain all the time, you start to limit your activities, which limits your joy. And then you may even further handicap yourself physically if you are too afraid to move around because of an injury, right?
Yeah.
And emotionally, we do the same thing.
We do.
We shut ourselves off, or we open ourselves up to the wrong things. And I just want people to think about that as they listen to the story about Taylor and her cats and how she is giving her power away to these cats, thinking that they're going to make her happy. Yeah. And each time, and we have 2 cats. The cat that she's not that crazy about is chilling. Ain't nothing happening to him. Right. But the ones that she's so crazy about keep dying. Wow. Right? Wow. So we have that where our dreams slip through our hands, our relationships slip through our fingers, and, children slip away, and our dreams and hopes slip away. Yeah. But it's because we are not really connected to them. We are attached to them because we expect them to deliver us from something rather than us saving ourselves.
That's true.
That's
true. That's a great way to open that up too. And it's crazy because as humans, we all have had some type of attachment. And yes, it can be difficult, but the reality is you do have to let it go at some point. And I'm not saying rush it, but you don't want to find yourself in a deep depression, spiraling down, getting lower and lower and lower and lower till you just. And at some point, I think sometimes we have to just sit back, feel that pain, accept that pain.
And the emptiness that comes with it.
And the emptiness that comes with it, Candi. And just let it be.
Let it be.
Because there's nothing else you can do after that, because you're going to keep trying to keep feeling that void up over and over and over and over again. And you're still coming up with the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's really changing. Yeah. So as you were talking about that, I was looking up attachments. And I got this off of waveclinic.com. And this was pretty interesting to me because as we're talking about this, I'm learning more and more about attachments. And so here is 4 types of attachments. And I never even thought of this, that there can be, from a clinical standpoint, types of attachments, right? So again, we don't claim to know it all, but it's important to do your research, do your due diligence. And when you hear this type of story that's being conveyed to you about something that all of us can be affected by, like we said before, business, animal, a job, whatever it is. But also there is some definitions to some of this. So the first one is secure attachment. And again, you can get this off of the waveclinic.com. Secure attachment. The secure attachment style signifies a warming, loving bond between a parent and child. The child feels loved and cared for and develops the ability from healthy relationships with those around them. Children with secure attachment styles are active and demonstrate confidence in their interaction with others. And that's secure attachment. The second one is anxious, ambivalent attachment. So anxious, ambivalent children tend to distrust caregivers, and in this insecurity often means that their environment is explored with trepidation rather than excitement. Number 2. This is number 3, avoidant attachment. Children who have developed under the avoidance style have learned to accept that their emotional needs are likely to remain unmet and continue to grow up feeling unloved and insignificant. They often struggle with expressing their feelings and find it hard understanding emotions in adulthood. They tend to avoid intimate relationships. Disorganized. Number 4 is disorganized attachment. Again, you guys you can go back and read this in more detail. You can go to waveclinic.com. Disorganized attachment. Disorganized attachment is a combination of avoidant and anxious attachment in children that fit into this group often display intense anger and rage. They may break toys and behave in other volatile ways. They also have difficult relationships with caregivers. Children developed under the disorganized attachment style tend to avoid intimate relationships as adults and can very easily explode and have a difficult time controlling their emotions.
Mm-hmm. Poor attachment styles.
Poor attachment styles. And, you know, we can probably ask ourselves, have we ever dealt with these
all of them,
right?
Yeah.
I've
experienced all of them.
Yeah.
And I think releasing the instinct to control everything outside of you helps.
Yeah.
You know, and you learn as you get older.
Yeah, you do.
Because you really don't have the capacity to try to keep up with everything like you used to when you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in your 20s, you want to know what they saying, what they thinking, what they doing, who they with. You know, you want to control everything.
Everything, yeah.
And then you get beat up in your 30s trying to control everything and outwit everything.
Yeah.
And then you start winding down in your 40s.
Yeah.
Then when you get in your 50s, you like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's no need you know, there's not a whole lot to really think about.
Yeah, that's why I always say, you know, I am for people getting married early.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's a lot, but you can learn.
Yes, you can.
But at this age, if I was to remarry, and we talk about this.
Yeah, we do.
I'm not as zealous about trying to, you know, control the other person, which can be good on one hand, but you got people who are still toxic even at this age.
Even at this age.
And if they don't feel your anxiety, if they don't feel you exuding any drama, they will still try to push you into that.
Yes.
And when you don't bite, they interpret that as you don't love me.
That's wild.
And you're like, no, I love you, and I'm connected to you. We got a vibe going, but I'm not attached to you because now I understand where my attachment lies. My attachment is within, and even that, I'm not attached to it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not attached to Candi anymore.
Yeah.
Because Candi has changed so much over the years and evolved that if I was so attached to her, I wouldn't allow her to change.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I have learned to let Candi go.
Yeah.
So when things come and I get an enlightenment or I get an idea or something changes, I tell you, I can change my mind. I'm free to do so, right?
Free to do so.
So we got to let other people do the same thing.
Yeah. And, you know, I agree with that. You know, I think that freedom for me, for someone who's been in relationships where there was control being implemented. And so I think it's important for a person to have a certain level of freedom, but also respect with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not always getting on the phone and say, hey, what you doing? What you doing? Every 5 minutes. Man.
Yeah.
Easy.
Right.
I'm coming home. You know, I'm going to be home. You know, so I think freedom is necessary. I think freedom is necessary for you to, first of all, if you don't know who you are, you probably don't need to be in a relationship.
Definitely.
Because it's going to be even harder to find yourself while being in a relationship with someone, especially if you're with somebody that don't know who they are and you don't know who you are. Man, get ready. It's a volcano ready, waiting to erupt.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're going to have a problem. You're just going to have problems. And you don't even see them coming.
Right.
But boy, when they come, you know. So I think it's important that the value in allowing your significant others or just a partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with, and you know what, it don't even have to be an intimate relationship. I think everybody has to respect each other's space. I think that's so important.
Definitely.
I think there is a time frame that we all have where we go get our peace. And whatever that is, for whatever it is for each individual, I think it's necessary for you to have that.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it was meant for us to, as humans, to really just be up under each other 24/7.
Right.
I just don't think that that's normal.
Right.
I don't. I think it's okay. You have that time. You have that time frame where you are together. I mean, you go to bed with each other. You wake up with each other. And I think it's good that you have your own friends, your own set of friends. And maybe, you can bring everybody together. Maybe you can bring everybody together and then you create a beautiful thing. But, sometimes you want to go and hang with the fellas. Or maybe you want to go hang with the fellas and ladies. Right. Maybe it's a situation where it's friendships, a very diverse, group of individuals. And your partner or, your partner, your significant other, if you're secure within yourself, then it should be easy. It should be an easy transition. It shouldn't be hard at all.
And if you pick the right person.
That's what I was going to say. And if you pick the right person,
We underestimate picking the right people in our lives.
Yeah, I agree.
We always talk about all of these theories and principles. And we leave out the fact that if you pick the wrong people, none of it is going to work fully. I mean, it'll halfway work on your end.
Yeah.
But at some point, something's going to have to give and you're going to have to pull yourself away from the person, right? Because if they don't allow it to work and fall in line on some level to cooperate with you. And I think that's where when you get in relationships, if you're in a relationship, and you stay in it long enough to go through the growing pains so you can get to the other side.
Yeah, I agree.
To say, you know what?
Wow.
That was a big deal, but it's not a big deal. I thought it was a big deal. Now that I'm over here on this side, it's not a big deal.
It's
and
really
that's
not.
Usually what people miss when they don't stay together is they miss that journey. Because now by the time you do go through that cycle yourself with one person, when you go and meet another person, you in another place.
Yes.
Now, if they in another place because they stopped their development in a particular place in their last relationship and you kept growing, then it makes that gap even bigger than if you had just been with that same person and y'all were able to grow through it.
Man, I agree.
And then you got to keep adjusting even more and more and more. Yeah. Because if that person came out of a relationship that said, oh, well, my partner had to know where I was all the time. Yeah. And I had to know where they were all the time. Yeah. And you're like, man, I done already been through that and that don't work. I don't want to know where you at all the time. I want to make sure you're okay. But I'm not going to be living on the phone with you, right? Because I did that in my 30s, right? Man. I'm sorry, we're not in the same place. Now, we're going to have to either get on the same page or we're not going to be compatible.
I like that you said that because that's so true, especially what you said, at this point, when you get in your 50s, man, it's like, I ain't nobody's child but my mama or my, and they don't call.
And they don't know where you at all the time. They don't know where
you at all the time.
Yeah.
I think about when, when you think about the days of when you were younger and you were in these relationships, how did you conduct yourself then?
Right.
Was you like, hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? You probably wasn't.
And
when I think about it.
I don't think it's so bad to want to let your partner know where you are.
That part
at all
right
times.
there. That part right there.
I think what we're really addressing is the anxiety behind not being able to do that.
Yes.
If you let that go, then that's going to make the person want to connect with you, you know.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up, because the thing that we're saying is communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
If your partner is telling you, hey, you know, I got to go do this tonight, I'll be there, I'll call you once I get there to let you know I got there safely. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Once you tell me that's where you're going, then that's what you tell me, then I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Call me when you get there. Let me know you got there safely. Mm-hmm. Once you do that, I know you all right.
Right.
Because you've already told me that.
Yeah.
I'm not finna be calling me, did you get there? What you doing?
Yeah.
I already told you what I was doing. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it is important. Communicating, you know, and conveying it properly, too, where it's not offensive, you know. And if you're taking offense to something, then just say what you need to say and get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I hope we're not going off too far from...
really,
because
it's
still emotions.
Yeah, and we're dealing with the fear of loss.
Yes.
Most people do this because they are afraid of losing.
Yes.
And because my daughter was like this about the cat.
Yeah.
Where's Peach? Where's Peach? Yeah. Where's she? And when she can't find her, oh my goodness, where's that? She's out enjoying nature.
Yeah.
And my mom had to tell her, if something happens to her, just know that if it happens to her and she's outside, that's where she wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, although we think somebody killed her.
Right.
But, yeah. But, you know, either way, it doesn't matter. You know, we get caught up in how we lost something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But loss is a lesson. Yeah. It's always here to teach us something.
Always.
Right?
Always.
I haven't lost a child, God forbid. I'm canceling that out in the universe. I don't want to learn that lesson. I don't want to feel that pain, right?
Not at all. Correct.
But I will use it as an example because it's like one of the biggest things that I can think of, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen parents who have lost children. And I don't care how happy they are. Something is missing from them that they never can get back. You can see it in their eyes.
Yes.
They're not the same.
No, they're not.
I remember meeting this lady who we were writing this collaborative book together.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, there's just this intense sadness with her, even though she had all her stuff together.
Yeah.
She was so sad.
Yeah.
But she was cool.
Yeah.
So we would always get in these conversations and stuff. And she finally started telling her story.
Yeah.
And, you know, her son had been murdered, right? Wow. At like 21, 22, young guy.
Wow. And
I was like, dang, that was it.
Yeah, that's young.
You know, that's what was missing in her.
Yeah.
And that being missing is not the bad thing.
Yeah.
Because that's understandable.
True.
Where it gets to be a problem is when you try to fill it with sex or alcohol or other relationships, and you keep trying to fill it and fill it and fill it and fill it and fill it. That's the problem. Yeah. We're not comfortable with emptiness.
Yeah.
And when you think about creation, for anybody who may believe or not believe in it, before anything was created, there was a void.
It was. That's right.
And a void is just space.
Just space.
And that space is there for creation.
Yeah,
so it's there for you to create something.
Yeah.
But it's not there for you to fill it up with something destructive.
Yeah.
Heavy, sad, to the point where you can't climb out of it. Mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. It's there for you to create more life.
Sure.
And more life is not holding people hostage in relationships. Chris, I need you to make me happy because I lost this.
Oh, no.
You know, Chris, I need you to do this for me because, you know, life just hadn't been fair. Yeah. I want to make sure you don't do me wrong. So I'm real paranoid with you, right? I want to make sure you don't do me wrong. Chris, you ain't going to do me wrong. You ain't going to do me wrong. You ain't going to do me wrong, are you? Yeah. And if you constantly feel like I feel that you're going to do me wrong.
Yeah.
That's going to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, man. Yes,
that's
it will.
pressure.
Too much pressure.
And then when you say something and it's inconsistent, the least little bit, I'd be like, Chris, you lied.
Oh, my God.
You lied.
Them some scary folks to be around.
Man, I didn't lie, but something came up.
Yeah.
And I changed my mind and I didn't communicate with you. I'm sorry, but it wasn't intentional.
And that should be it after you say that.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, though. You have some people that just keep pressing.
Yeah.
They just going to keep pressing.
Yeah. So we have to process loss in a way that, and I think the way that we do that is to really understand who we are.
Yeah, I agree.
And understand that loss is a part of life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. No,
not
it's not.
easy.
But it is, like you said, it is a part of life.
Yeah.
So here's something, causes of emotional pain. I'm going to read this too, and you can go to verywellmind.com. Verywellmind.com. Again, we don't claim to know it all, but sometimes life and experience can give you a perspective on things in a healthy way. And maybe you've experienced it, and hopefully we can say something that can help you become better. So this is the website, verywellmind.com. All right, we're talking about causes of emotional pain. The number one says sadness. And like you had just stated a few minutes ago, sadness is a natural emotion that is associated with loss and disappointment. However, if it doesn't fade with time, it might point to a treatable condition, depression, that can impact your whole body.
Yeah.
Unexpressed anger. Anger is a basic human emotion. It releases adrenaline, which increases muscle tension and speeds up breathing. This is the fight part of the response. It can be mobilizing at times. However, if it's not adequately managed, this response can lead to long-term physical consequences, and that's unexpressed anger. Anxiety, as you stated earlier. Anxiety, as with anger, anxiety and fear both also releases adrenaline. This generally results in jumpiness, a tendency to startle easily, the inability to relax, the fight response, or a feeling of being immobilized or stuck, the freeze response. Shame and guilt. Woohoo. That's why people tell you to stay away from shame. Being shame and guilt. If you did it, you did it. Let it go and be done with it. Apologize and keep moving on.
It'll suck you in.
Man, what?
Yeah.
So shame and guilt often results in feeling of butterflies or weight in the stomach. Common among people with addictions. Shame leads to and is worsened by the need for secrecy. If not addressed, prolonged feelings of shame and guilt may lead to physical symptoms. So, wow. So impact. Psychological pain can also contribute to or worsen physical pain in different areas of the body. Some common types of physical pain that may be connected to emotional distress include. Now listen, when I tell you this list right here, Candi, it's going to be crazy. But listen to this list now. This is some of the emotional distress that happens from emotional pain. Number one, here's the impact of those different things that we just said. Diarrhea.
Wow.
Dizziness. Headaches. Muscle pain, particularly in the neck.
Wow.
Nausea. We were just talking. Well, I hope that ain't what's happening with you, baby.
It could be year. You never know.
Maybe there's something emotional going on. We don't know. Emotional. So nausea, pain in the arms and legs, stomach, or gastrointestinal upset. So all of those things right there, when you think about it, maybe you're going through some emotional pain and don't even realize it. And here's the impact of it from a psychological standpoint.
Yeah.
But diarrhea?
Yeah, because the gut is the second brain. So the gut is the first thing that gets upset during stress because has so many nerves that go through it, your stomach. That's where all of your gut response, your intuition, that's where that is. So when you are emotionally out of balance, that gut is everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we want to say this too. I want to mention this. Being sad, being angry, being upset. We're not on here acting as if we don't get upset and you're not going to get angry. So let's bring some perspective to this, because these are natural emotions that you're having. That you're supposed to get angry. You're going to get angry. You're going to get mad. You're going to have some moments where you're sad. But we're saying you can't stay there, though.
We're just talking about not getting stuck. We're just
talking about not getting stuck. You're going to have disappointments.
Yeah.
But how you going to navigate through them, though?
Right.
So hopefully we can tell you some of these, hopefully we can convey this properly to you so you get a full understanding of what we're saying. And the reason that I'm saying that is because, you have so many people who say, well, they act like we're not going to get mad or whatever. No, that's totally what we're not saying. No, because at some point you're going to feel those emotions.
Right.
But oh my God, if you react to all of those emotions, man, you're going to find yourself in a bad way.
You're going to find yourself going back and forth like a seesaw.
Man.
And then you got to have a substance.
Come on.
In order to balance that out.
Yeah. And that's usually what happens.
If you don't master your emotions, you're going to constantly be reaching outside of yourself. Yes, and the substance that you grab for is going to either make you fat or weak.
Yeah, one of the two.
Right?
One of the two.
And people need to understand we have to be ready for stuff that may be happening in our society. You don't know whether you're going to have to run or flee or go, live a particular place on the land. You don't know what you're going to do in this day and time.
Ain't that the truth?
And if you're dependent heavily on medication, if you got high blood pressure, if you're diabetic, if you got issues going on, you're going to be the first to go.
First one.
So you cannot let unresolved emotions drive you into these habits that are robbing you of your sustainability.
I love it.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, right? That's funny you were saying that. So, I guess we can find ourselves sabotaging our own happiness,
definitely,
our own joy. So we have to figure out how to navigate through that, folks. These are things that, yes, we all face them. We all have situations and problems that come up in our personal life. And so hopefully, we've said something here on today that can actually help you become a better you. And listen, I want to send condolences out to Taylor.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want you to know, young sister, it's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gonna be all right. Listen to mama. She gonna help you navigate through it. I know it's difficult.
Yeah,
I understand. We do have a huge community of pet lovers, and people take that serious.
Really?
I mean,
yeah,
they really do. The more that I meet a lot of my friends and family members too who have pets, that's serious business. They're a family member at that point. Your dog or your cat, or maybe you have a ferret, maybe you have a gerbil, whatever it is, then I can understand that those attachments, you can become attached to your pet.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable. So I hope we've said something on today that can help you become a better you. Try not to self-sabotage your happiness and avoid the emotional pain. And I hope we've said something to you that can give you, I hope we gave you some tools today. And I hope that the wonderful story, sad story that Candi told us on today can kind of help you, get a better understanding. All right. So listen, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you've had a great day and a great evening. And listen, I am Car.Ross Sr.
And I am Candi T. Jeter.
And this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. Peace.